Hello and welcome to another CS0 Intro to Java Programming video. In this video, we're going to talk about how to use JComboBox. The reason why we're going to introduce JComboBox now is because it's easiest to use loops to create them and use them. So let's take a loop at it. I'm going to run it first so you can see what the ComboBox is. ComboBox is this. It's one of those drop-down menus that you click on, you choose something off of the list, and then things happen. Combo boxes fire off item events. So we're going to use item listeners with the ComboBox. Let's take a look at the code. This is going to be our standard GUI template. It's a public class ComboBox extends JFrame. Implements item listeners. We'll look at item state changed later on. We've got a constant here called num iterations. An iteration is just one pass through a loop. So getting into the loop, getting to the bottom of the loop, and then checking the condition to see if we get into the loop again. That's an iteration. I've got a combo box called choicebox. I've got an int called choice. I've got a text area called output. I've got a scroll pane that's not being used, so I can just delete that. I've got a J panel called choice panel, output panel, and GUI holder panel. These are just going to be the panels that I'm going to use to set up my GUI. Run it again so you can see it. The GUI holder panel is holding both the output and the choice box, and both of these have their own panels that they're nested in, and they all get into the frame. I do all the stuff that I always do in a GUI. Create GUI. I've got three methods in there: setup combo, setup output, setup GUI. Setup GUI is just going to add a border layout to the GUI holder panel, and then add the output panel and choice panel to the GUI holder, and then add the GUI holder to the frame. All right, let's take a look at the setup combo. We're not even going to look at setup output because it's just setting up a JText area. You can look at it, you have the code, but there's no need for us to analyze it in the video because we've seen it so many times. So choice panel is our J panel. It's got a flow layout. That's going to get our combo box added to it. This is how I instantiate a combo box. Choice box, new, JComboBox, just uses a default constructor with no arguments in it. And I am going to use a for loop to traverse over the combo box and add an item using the counter value off of my loop. So we talked about for loops before, and that they've got that control variable. And oftentimes you're going to use that control variable inside the body of the loop to do some sort of operations. We saw it in a previous video where that control variable was used to draw the control variable to the J panel using a draw string. And then we also used it to update the X value for the location of where that was going to be drawn. Well, in this case, what I'm going to do is use it as the value that's going to get added to the combo box. When you look at this, we've got a combo box with values 1 through 10 in it. Okay, let's look at how this relates. Num iterations is the total number of iterations, and num iterations is 10. Well, we've got 10 different values that are added to here, 1 through 10 inclusive. You'll notice that 0 is not in here. Our loop starts at 0 and goes up to but does not include 10. That's 10 values. The values 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Those are 10 different values. So I'm going to do 10 iterations of my loop, 10 times through the loop. To add something to a combo box, it's name of combo box dot add item, and you have to pass a string into it. I'm just going to add one more item after the loop. I'm going to do this. Choicebox dot add item. Hello world, and I'm going to run it, and then when it pops up, we'll see that hello world will be added to the bottom of all those choices. Now you can see it's actually wider because it needs to accommodate the hello world, and it's right down there. Okay? That's how add item works. What I'm going to do is use the add item along with my control variable, and I'm going to parse that control variable into a string. So string.valueOf is going to look at an integer and it's going to change it into a string. This could also be done just like this. I could concatenate to an empty string, but I just wanted to demonstrate the string value of. So value of is a static method in the string class, so we call it to the string class and not a string object, and we pass an int value into it, and then it'll change it into a string. We have to add the action listener and then add the choice box to the choice panel. Let's take a look at item state changed. What we're going to do here is we're going to get the value off of the choice box, and we're going to use that for our loop end condition. That's where we're going to stop our next loop. And what's going to happen is we're going to start at 1, and we're going to count up to the number that was chosen. So if I choose 3, it's going to give us 1, 2, 3. If I choose 7, it's going to give us 1 through 7 inclusive. Let's see how that works. So e.getStateChanged if it is a selected event. Now we saw this in a previous week when we were talking about selection events. It could be item event selected or deselected. If it was selected, that means that we engage the combo box. This is going to be the selection event. When I click on the 5, that's when the selection event happens, and that's when the event is fired off. Not until I actually click on it. Okay? So if it's a selected event, choice is going to get integer.parseInt, and it's going to get the object off the combo box and change it into a string. So combo box get selected item is going to return an object. Well, we need to cast it to a string in order to parse it to an int. So that's what this is all about right here. So integer parseInt, string, choice box, get selected item. So it gets the thing off of there. That's going to be my choice. So if I did this, selected 5, my selected event is going to fire off there. It's going to look at that, what's on the choice box, so get selected item. It's going to look at what's currently selected. It's 5. 5 is going to get stored into choice as an int. Now that's going to be the limit for my loop end condition. So I is 0 while I is less than choice. That means I'm going to iterate 5 times 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 I++. And then I'm going to append to my output panel, or my output text area, I plus 1. So I'm going to use my control variable, add 1 to it. It's got to be in these parentheses, because if I don't do it, it's all just going to be concatenated. You'll see, watch this. So I'll take these parentheses off and see how this is different. See, it's printing out 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1. It's always concatenating the 1 onto the control variable. The parentheses force the addition operation and then concatenate. We've seen this before. It's not new, but I just thought I'd point it out because it's one of those little things that you could very easily forget. All right, thanks for tuning in. That was how we use combo boxes.